Hey guys, I am Daisho and I am here bringing you some magic, and today I am giving you the finals of a draft that I did. It's 2 drafts ago, so in between now and then there actually is an entire another draft that I recorded, and I got all the games in that one except for the second round, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, you've seen my opponent's deck a little bit. He's got a blue-white flyer theme going, but he's also got some zombies for late game, and you haven't seen his secret weapon, the Drog Skull Reaver, although he did draw in the last game, and he was just 1 land shy of playing it. Anyway, he starts off with a Deranged Assistant, and then I come back with a Pyreheart Wolf, and at the end of my turn that I play the Pyreheart Wolf, he's gonna tap his Deranged Assistant and get his Nephalia Sea Skite in there. He wants it to start swinging in at least right now, so that's gonna hurt me a little bit. He's gonna swing in for 2. And by the way, if you've noticed, this game is gonna be pretty long, and it's kind of a really interesting game, and there's a lot of different things that go back and forth. So I'll try to explain everything that happens, but some of it's just going to be play by play. There's going to be a little bit of waiting. I tried to cut out as much of the waiting as possible, as you'll see by the transitions. He's trying to show you his hand. Couldn't see all the cards in there, but there was definitely a Relentless Scob and a Soul Caesar in there. But anyway, I had a pretty nice turn 4 play here. Turn 3 I played Pyreheart Wolf, and turn 4 I played my Erdwall Ripper, and those are 2 really good cards to have back to back. He was really excited about playing his Silverclaw Griffin because he was like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. He can't really swing in, and then I'll just be able to swing back for 5 the next turn, so it'll be good. Or I can only swing it for 1 damage. But getting in for 3 there was really clutch, because now it puts pressure on him to do something about either my Pyreheart Wolf or my Erdwall Ripper. Something. He needs to deal with the situation as opposed to just trying to swing back and forth, because that Erdwall Ripper is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger if he doesn't deal with it soon. But anyway, he taps another 5 and plays his Soul Caesar, which if you haven't ever heard of this card, it's a 1/3 flyer, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you can enchant their creature with mind control, basically. So you basically just get to steal their creature once it swings in. Otherwise, it's just a 1/3 flyer for 5. So obviously that's not the greatest situation in the world. You want it to be swinging and dealing damage to player. It looks pretty good for him, because I do not have talk. I don't have any flyers out. So anyway, he still does. Bad at talking. I still have some pressure on the board, so I decide that he decides to swing in with his Nephalia Sea Skite, take me down to 16. I'm not really exactly sure why he did that. Now if he's can't see his hand. I'm bad at making sounds. I should stop doing the sound thing. But anyway, he decides to stay back with his Silverclaw Griffin and his Soul Caesar. I swing back with both of my guys, and he takes a while to decide what to block, and I was a little surprised. I was expecting him to block the Erdwall Ripper, and I think the reason for that was because I have a Moment of Heroism in my hand, and if I was able to do that, then I would have killed his Silverclaw Griffin and his Soul Caesar, and that would have just been awesome for me. But instead, he's able to kill my Pyreheart Wolf, but it undies. So that's one of the really cool things about Pyreheart Wolf, is it leaves itself vulnerable by attacking for its ability to go off, but it could die, and then it's still okay, and it'll come right back. I've got a Silverclaw Griffin of my own, though, so that puts me in a lot better position than I previously was in, because now his Soul Caesar can't really swing. The only creature that he can successfully swing in with right now is his Silverclaw Griffin, which probably would not block because it would just trade with mine. But he doesn't really want to swing in with that either, because that's the only thing that can take out the Erdwall Ripper reliably. Anyway, he's got a Screeching Scob for me here. It's a 2/1, and that's pretty good, because that means that he can just block like the Pyreheart Wolf with it, or that would be one of the things that he can block, and that would actually kill it. So just creatures on the board are really important for him right now. So I can't swing in with my Silverclaw Griffin, obviously. Every time you see that animation, it's just a really long wait time. So I decided to just slow the game down, play my Instigator Gang, try to get him to flip, then maybe I can swing in with my Pyreheart Wolf or my Silverclaw Griffin or something. But you'll see how that goes for me anyway. So I decided not to swing in this turn. It wouldn't really have been successful. I don't know if I'm actually holding the Moment of Heroism or if I was just bluffing it earlier, but either way, it did work for me, because I was able to get him for that extra 3 damage. So now the life totals are 16 to 14, and he's going to play a land here, and This is all he's been waiting for the whole game. He's just going to be like, land, tap, 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 tap. And right now I'm just like, no! And he plays his Drog Skull Reaver. Flying, double strike, lifelink. Whenever you deal damage, whenever you gain life, draw a card. So that guy is basically a game winner. One of the best cards in his deck. And you'll see that even though it doesn't last so long, it still is really beneficial. I'll try to detail how cool it is, but basically he's got that Drog Skull Reaver on the board. There's no way I can do anything in terms of attacking. I'm just gonna try. The only decision I have to make is whether or not I want my Instigator Gang to flip. So I decided not to play a spell and let him flip. And I don't know if that was really the right decision there. Later on in the game, I wish I had more spells on the board. But anyway, he swings in with his Drog Skull Reaver after some thought, and I immediately just block with my Silverclaw Griffin, a moment of heroism. It's really the only thing I could have done. I needed to get rid of the Drog Skull Reaver. Obviously, it couldn't come into play. But even though he lost his he traded his Drog Skull Reaver for my Silverclaw Griffin. First of all, if that was the only trade on the board, then it would still benefit him because he's got flyers and now I don't. Second of all, he made me use my Moment of Heroism, which only gave me 5 life, which was pretty cool that it did gain me life. He plays a Chapel Geist there, but it's definitely not the reason why the card is in the deck, not just for life gain. It's really there for a combat trick so that I can use it later on. So he made me use that, plus he got to draw a card out of it. So there was basically a 2-card advantage going his way. Just by playing that Drog Skull Reaver, even though I was able to take it out pretty quickly. But I was really lucky that I had the tools to take it out there, my Moment of Heroism, and I mean there's a couple other things in the deck. If I had a Burning Oil, I could also use that to block with my Silverclaw Griffin. But basically, Silverclaw Griffin or Mana Gargoyle, which you guys are about to see, are pretty much the only 2 things that could have dealt with it. And luckily I do have the Mana Gargoyle in my hand right now. So that I can actually block the Soul Caesar. Otherwise, I would be in pretty bad shape if that thing could just come in and steal my Instigator Gang. But let's see how we're doing here in terms of what's going on. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future, but right now, this game is not really leaning towards either person. We both have I think we both have about the same amount of cards in hand, and he can't really swing in because I've got the Mana Gargoyle. I can't really swing back because he's got just a ton of blockers and he's got the Silverclaw Griffin and stuff. But yeah, I don't know why the screen goes a little dark here, but it'll come back to, there you go. That's better. It just looks happier now, doesn't it? I don't know. Anyway, he decides to swing in here in just a second, I believe. Oh no, he's gonna play tap his Deranged Assistant just for mana, because he's gonna use the mana anyway, and he wants cards in his graveyard. As you see later on, or a little bit later on, he's gonna cast at least 1 or 2 spells from his graveyard. So actually I think one of them was last game, so I think he only cast 1 spell from his graveyard today, but it didn't really matter. Having the cards in the graveyard and the library make no difference unless you're worried about mill, which he's not really worried. He can probably kill me quick enough if it's gonna come down to that. But anyway, he taps another 5, 1 from the Deranged Assistant and 4 mana for a Relentless Scabs, and that card is just annoying. That's another benefit to having the Deranged Assistant like that. It helps him to exile cards from his graveyard, and it basically just gives him creatures there, because I don't really know. The only creature that I really remember killing was Drog Skull Reaver. It's possible that I've killed another creature already, but that's really the main one that I've killed so far, so it wouldn't be too great for me. So it would be pretty good for me if he didn't actually have the ways to mill himself, because then he wouldn't be able to cast cards like Relentless Cops. But he was able to, and now he swings in here. I don't really understand why he swings in. He swings in with, I think, the Chapel Geist and the 2 Nephalia Sea Guides. I don't really understand this play, because maybe he just wanted to get in for some damage, but I'm already at 21 life, so it's only going to deal 4 damage for me. I'll just block the Chapel Geist. It doesn't really matter which one to block here. It's just, it makes more sense to block the Chapel Geist, because I think he might have a Saving Grasp in his graveyard right now, so may as well kill the one that's cheaper, I guess, because Chapel Geist is only 3 mana as opposed to the other ones are 4, but then again, he only has 2 white, so maybe that would have been the right play to take out him. But anyway, I'm happy with that turn. I took 4 damage, but was able to kill one of his creatures. Maybe he forgot. I don't think he forgot that Mana Gargoyle can block him. He's a good player, so he probably thought about that. But anyway, I play Heretic's Punishment. I figured that I need to get this on the battlefield and start murdering his creatures. That way I can even do anything. But this is pretty much, in my opinion, the most critical point in the game. If it had gone my way, then the game would have been completely different. And here it's just a little bit of an annoyance. He accidentally looked at 2 cards when he looked at the top card when he tapped his ranged assistant, and he saw it, but I didn't see it. So now I basically say, all right, whatever. You can either keep it there and show it to me, or just shuffle your library again. And he decides to shuffle his library. So it's kind of like a little scrying action, right? But that was definitely just an accident. He wouldn't do that on purpose. So he just decides to shuffle because he doesn't really want me to know the top card of his library, and it's not fair if he knows the top card either. Probably wouldn't have made a difference either way, even if he knew and I didn't know. But like, let's say he had Drogskull Reaver in the library still or something like that, then he would know. He would play the game differently. But there, since you could see here in the video that it was just a Plains, it really did not make a difference. So anyway, I still have the Mana Gargoyle up, and right here he's going to tap 3 because he already played 1, or tap 2, I guess. I don't know why he tapped the extra one for a 3-man Heretic. I guess he forgot about that 1 mana. It took me a while to figure out what that card was because, as you guys can see, it's all the way in the back and it's hard to see. But actually, I guess the play that I was thinking of is not this turn, but it will be the next turn. That makes a lot more sense, actually. It would not have made sense to be last turn, but I don't really think that I have much to do this turn. I want to save my mana open for my Heretic's Punishment, and I want my Instigator Gang to flip, so it's just a perfect opportunity for me to just pass the turn and give it over to him, see what he's got for me, as opposed to trying to do something myself. The only problem is I don't think I have 8 mana yet. I think I have got 7. I'm not 100% sure. I may have... No, I definitely have 7 mana open right now, which is kind of annoying for me, but... I passed my turn and I'm about to flip my guy, but he is debating whether or not he wants to play a spell to keep my Instigator up on that side, but he decides eventually not to, and my guy will flip, he'll untap, and it's looking alright for me. I've got my Pyreheart Wolf out, and I've got a bunch of power on the board, and plus I have Heretic's Punishment and almost 8 mana, which means that I can almost use Heretic's Punishment twice. So that's really a pretty good situation for me. It's looking like. I'm definitely happy about this situation, even though he's got 8 creatures on the board, which isn't great. But then he shows me a Silent Departure, which I was not happy about. I did not think of this at all. I accidentally put it in my graveyard. I'll pick it back up into my hand eventually. But I mean, that was really a killer for me. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be really bad. Because now he's going to be able to swing in with his Seakites and his Soul Caesar. And I think does he swing in with the Silverclaw Griffin? I don't know. He swings in at least with the Soul Caesar. He doesn't want... He knows that I still have the Heretic's Punishment, which I'm obviously going to target the Soul Caesar with. So he doesn't really... if by chance that I get the 3 power needed to kill his Soul Caesar, he doesn't want me to swing back for a ton with my Instigator Gang. But I obviously do that. The first card is Fling, then Mountain, and then Evolving Wilds. So I only deal 2 damage to the 1/3 Soul Caesar, and that was pretty much the most important part of the game. Obviously, it's not over yet, as you can see by the, 7 or 8 minutes that are left in the video. But, yeah, he decided... I mean, I just give him... I'm like, here, take my Instigator Gang. And it's already flipped. He doesn't even have to worry about flipping it. So that's pretty nice for him. But he makes a decision for some reason. I don't really know what else he could have wanted. I guess Pyreheart Wolf would have been decent, because then he could have swung back for a ton of damage. I wouldn't have been able to block, but I don't know. I could have just shot down Pyreheart Wolf with my Heretic's Punishment, I guess. So definitely not the greatest situation for me. Obviously, it would have been nice to have Burning Oil here, which would have been the guaranteed way to get rid of Soul Caesar, but I don't have it. So anyway, he doesn't flip his Soul Caesar. I'm like, nope, you can't keep taking my creatures with that thing. That's not Beguiler of Wills. Sorry. But there we go. I play another land, so that'll be my 8th land, I think. And I tap 4 and play the Slayer of the Wicked. Slayer of the Wicked, which I mean, I knew I had that in my hand for quite some time. So I wasn't happy when he took my Instigator Gang, because that meant that I basically had to get rid of it. But I wasn't upset either, because I knew that I could just take it out pretty easily. The only zombie on the board was the Relentless Scobs, which are not really fun to kill anyway. So I wasn't too upset about killing it, and I can't tell if I have 3 or 4 untapped mana right here. I think I remembered already to get my mana gargoyle back, but man, that was really clutch for him for me to only get those 2 mana. And even if I had a fling in my hand, that would have been cool, because then I would have been able to kill his something with something. I don't know. Basically, the Soul Caesar would not have worked. Like, he would have targeted my Instigator Gang and I would have flung it at his face, taking him down to 9. Like, if I had drawn that, well, no, it would only have done 5 damage to him, taking him down to 12. But if I had attacked with it, then it would have been a lot better, because then it would have been an 8, and I would have been in great shape if I actually had that fling in my hand. Wow, that's actually kind of depressing that I didn't draw the fling. But if I hadn't even used Heretic's Punishment, I would have been in a better situation, because I would have drawn it the next turn. But whatever. These things happen, and that was kind of annoying. I was really expecting it to kill the Soul Caesar, because I do have a high mana curve in this deck. But again, it just doesn't always work. And obviously, the next turn I draw the Burning Oil, and I'm able to take out his Silverclaw Griffin, and or actually, rather, I target the Silverclaw Griffin, and I know he's got a Saving Grasp in the graveyard. I didn't show you, or I didn't mention when he put it in there, because I don't even know when he put it in there. But it was not that long ago, I don't think. I think it was a couple of turns back with his Deranged Assistant. But yeah, he's gonna play Saving Grasp, and yeah, it looks like about 4 or 5 cards ago. So he's gonna play Saving Grasp and get his Silverclaw Griffin back to the hand. Luckily, he's only got 1 Plains, so he can't. 1 Plains untapped, so he can't even play it this turn. But he does play his Niblis of the Breath. Yep, Niblis of the Breath. Took me a while to figure out what this card is. When he plays them all the way on the other side of the battlefield, it's hard to tell, but later on he taps one of my creatures down, you'll see. So anyway, there's my 8th land, finally. Now I can Heretic's Punishment twice. The only problem is 17 life is still too high for him. I need him to be down to a nicer life total, like even 10, and then I can even hope to win, because I know that I have a couple more 5 or 6 drops in my deck. So at 17, there's absolutely no way that I can just Heretic's Punishment him twice and win the game. But now comes one of the other key points in the game. I was thinking that I really only have a couple of turns left. He's got that Relentless Scob, and he's got the 2 Nephalia Sea Kites. So eventually, hopefully right about now, I'll decide to swing in with all my creatures, which, like, I really don't think that it was the right play. And in retrospect, I definitely would have played it differently. But that is what I decided. It takes him a while to figure out blocker set. It doesn't actually take him that long, and then it takes me a couple of seconds to figure out how to order the damage. Obviously, I'm going to kill the things I can kill and not kill the things that I can't kill. He's going to tap both of the guys who are being dealt damage to die. He taps the 3rd Heretic to remove, like, some random thing from my graveyard, my Instigator Gang, probably. It doesn't really matter. I don't have any ways to get them back anyway, or is that Silverclaw Griffin? Whatever. It didn't really matter. Oh yeah, he didn't realize that I had Instigator Gang in the graveyard, so he got rid of that. But now all I've got left is Slayer of the Wicked, and he's tapped. He only takes 3 damage. At that point, I was hoping to make him take 5 or whatever, but then my next turn is pretty interesting. Also, I realized that he had the Nibbles of the Breath, so he was always going to be able to tap down my Powerheart Wolf from then on, so he would have just basically been able to easily chump block and just block as he wanted, rather than having to block on my terms. But then I play my Mana Gargoyle, and then I play my Midnight Guard. Not sure if that was the right play, but at that point I figured I was just going to use it as a regular blocker to kill the Relentless Scobs, and then I wanted another creature on the battlefield. So he swings in this turn. He brings in his Sea Kite and his Relentless Scobs, and I decided to block that with my Mana Gargoyle, and obviously I don't really have anything else to do to the Nephalia Sea Kite. The Burning Oil is in my graveyard, and I've got Heretic's Punishment on the battlefield, but I don't have enough mana, so this is where it really was important earlier in the game, where I wasn't playing my Mana Gargoyle, and I was basically passing turns to allow my Instigator Gang to flip. Maybe if I had played my Mana Gargoyle earlier, it could have been in better shape, but now it's really not looking good for me. He's at 14, I'm at 6, and I make a terrible mistake. Completely forgot that I didn't have my Powerheart Wolf. I've had it since the beginning of the game, and I was just thinking in terms of, okay, he needs to block with 2 guys. So right here I'm like, alright, He's only got 3 blockers. He can only choose one of my guys to block. He'll block and kill it, and then he'll take 2. He'll go down to 12, and then I don't have a chance. I mean, I don't have a good chance, but at least I have a chance of winning this game. And I can maybe Heretic's Punishment him twice for like some epic thing where I managed to get 2 6-drops, which I don't even remember if I have 2 6-drops in the deck. But he just blocks and kills both my guys, and I think one of them trades. I think I trade with some other card, whatever. And then at this point, it's pretty much game. If he doesn't swing in, like if he only swings in with 3 creatures, then it's still a chance because I can Heretic's Punishment twice. But he just decides to swing in with enough guys, and then that's going to be the game. So that was game 2, and then my opponent went on to win game 3. It was actually a really cool game. I was winning early on, but then he top-decked Drog Skull Reaver, and then that basically won him the game from there. So it was a really good set. He ended up winning. He went 3-0, I went 2-1, but it was still a really cool set, and he plays a Drog Skull Captain towards the end. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and have a nice day. Bye.